No mai, haere mai. Welcome to 3 News. The government has signalled a radical transition to what it describes as far more liberal planning laws to replace the Resource Management Act. The RMA has long been criticised for being overly complex and a barrier to development. This afternoon, the government gave a preview of its replacement legislation, which it says will be premised on the enjoyment of property rights. Zane Small has more.
For 4 years, this section of land on Karangahape Road has sat empty, nothing but a gravel pit. Property developer James Kirkpatrick Group had big plans to build a new $100 million office building. But resource consent was declined.
We lodged this resource consent in mid-2023. We're now early 2025. The client spent the best part of $1 million getting to this point.
It's decisions like that the government hopes to prevent in the future by replacing the Resource Management Act.
Kiwis are sick of it, I'm sick of it, we're all sick of it, and now we're taking action to completely dismantle and scrap the RMA and replace it with fresh legislation that just lets Kiwis get on with it.
The RMA has created uncertainty, time delays and cost.
The decision was made on behalf of Auckland Council by independent commissioners, acting in accordance with the Resource Management Act. As part of their assessment, the commissioners considered the proposed height of the building, the architectural design and historic heritage. In the decision published last month, the commissioners concluded that the adverse effects related to built form and appearance, the streetscape, historic heritage and the Karangahape precinct have not been sufficiently avoided, remedied or mitigated, such that the effects on the environment will be more than minor. Those sorts of concerns look set to be given less consideration under the new laws.
This is a radical transition to a far more liberal planning system with less red tape premised on the enjoyment of property rights.
Under the RMA, currently there's no cost when decision makers might want to impose things like heritage controls. In the new system, instead we're going to include a robust approach where compensation is found to be deserved for regulatory taking, where questionable restrictions are imposed on people's private property.
The previous Labour government also reformed the RMA.
They've taken a year and a half to come up with 2 new bills to replace the RMA, which was put back in place when they repealed the 2 bills that were passed under Labour to replace the RMA. Ultimately, they've just been running around in circles for the last year and a half.
This RMA is 900 and whatever it is pages. The NBA, the National Built Environment Act that Labour passed, was longer.
Labour is disappointed there will be no generic Treaty of Waitangi clause in the new legislation.
The fact that they're talking about a law that dictates how natural resources in New Zealand can be used without any reference to the treaty, I think is a big step backwards.
But the government argues it's time to get things done and aims to introduce the new laws to Parliament before the end of the year. Not nearly as long as this land has sat empty.